Welcome to the Brazil Expat Journal, the BJ you can trust. And me and Pete are back for one more round, Pete. Are you prepared for tonight's show, Pete? We're going to talk about your
Yeah,
favorite
more or
topic,
less.
São Paulo City. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Brazil Expat Journal, the BJ you can trust. And we're going to be talking a lot about São Paulo today, or tonight, I should say. And welcome a viewer. Hello there. By the way, Life is, thank you for all your comments in the videos. You asked a lot of good questions. You did ask about Marielle and that whole story. It's kind of deep. You know who would be nice to talk about that are the guys that come from Rio, because they know a lot more about her story. But short version is that it's a mess. It looks like it was a political type murder, and she became a martyr for a lot of people. Some people feel like, hey, there's a lot of political assassinations in Brazil. Like, why was she singled out? Of course, there's two sides to everything, but I was saddened by it. You know, it's pretty tragic. It's always tragic when someone gets killed for political reasons, and you know, I defend that across the board because people got upset at me because I defended that when it came to Charlie Kirk, who I disagree with, and I disagree with Marielle's politics. But yeah, you don't kill people because you disagree with their politics. That's not how democracy works. So yes, it's a tragedy, and yeah, it's you would say it's Brazil, but then you just saw there was a political assassination in America. So you know, it's just sad whenever that does happen. Yeah, so I wanted to say though, before we get into the show, first I do have a little bit of news. I'm always trying to bring the news section back. And hello, Anthony Margaru, how are you? How are you? And look at this, guys. In the last couple weeks, I really want to thank you guys. We have grown so much in audience. It's amazing. Doing my little Oprah there. Look at this. Plus 175 subscribers in the last 28 days, guys. Thank you so much. People have been really supporting the channel, supporting what we do here. And I like this, Pete. Look at this metric here. Because this is like the last 70. Oh, see how slow the internet is? I was going off on Vivo, and that's why. And it's kind of cool because you see like how all the hard work paid off. Because look at this, Pete, when it eventually shows up. It was like a dead channel for like 3 years, and I'm just kind of like, okay, YouTube is there to watch it, when you see that, it's going to be a cool graphic because you're going to go so like it's a flat line until the end, and then it comes back. So thank you. I'm saying all of this just to say thank you guys for supporting the channel. But Pete, I just want to get two little pieces of news in because people do tune in to the Journal to find out what's happening. And I think the two big news stories one has to do with ex-president Bolsonaro, and you can see that he is asking for house arrest. Okay, and I don't think he's going to get it, Pete. You know, and what the reason I'm bringing this story up though is because it's interesting how little people seem to care. Like Brazilians don't seem to really like be out in the streets and like protesting, like Bolsonaro needs to stay in jail. I think it's like it shows a little bit of like the Brazilian heart, which is like they're not going to kick a dying horse. Like he's down. He's apparently deadly ill, like he might die soon. So that's why he's asking for house arrest. Other people say it's just a political maneuver so he can be out there helping his sons in their campaigns. Who knows? But it's like, even if he's not dying for real, it's like, yeah, but what? You don't really have that much sway anymore. So it's like Brazilians are kind of, and I'm kind of happy, because that gets so boring, like the political back and forth. Unlike the U.S., where President Trump's like, what's his name, Comey died, and it's like, fuck him, he was an asshole. I'm glad he's dead. It's a total 180. So I think that I like this story not because I'm a fan of Bolsonaro. Like, I think he deserves to stay in the jail, not outside of it. Um, but I like it because it shows a little bit of the Brazilian spirit, which is like, yeah, like we're past that, whatever, and he's no longer a threat. So I like that. And then the other story shows the Brazil how Brazil is ahead of America in a lot of ways with its progressive stances, whether I agree with them or not. And I think that's a good thing. I mean, it's good to be ahead of the curve, and Brazil is lacking in a lot of areas when it comes to this. But one thing that I think Brazil is ahead of America and has always been ahead of America for is trans issues. Brazil had one of the most famous models in the world. Roberta Closey was doing like runways in the 80s and 90s when America wasn't even ready to even have a conversation about drag queens. Not don't even start on who what trans people were. So it's very weird because Brazil is usually the opposite. It's so behind, when it comes to women's issues, when it comes to black issues. It feels like it's 30 to 40 years behind America. That's how I felt when I came to Brazil. It was like I had a lot of these gone with the wind moments. Like, where am I? But the one place that I have always felt like, wow, like Brazil, for whatever reason, even though it's the country that kills the most trans people in the world, it's also the country that has the most visibility. Like, you have a pop singer here called Pablo Vittar that I'm a super fan of. I love Pablo Vittar because she just campy, like 100% campy and crazy. I even went to one of her shows, and I'm thinking like, dude, she sells out millions. Like, I'm sure even Pete, who's like a rock and roll white dude from Canada, maybe have you heard the name Pablo Vittar, Pete? Let's check Pete's gaydar. Have
Um,
you have you heard that name?
I think I've heard it from you. Wasn't she the one who did that show in during Carnival at Ibirapuera Park?
Yeah. Oh my God, Pete is in the know. Wow. All right.
No,
See, see, so
you told me about it.
I know I told you, but I mean, I told you because everybody knew about it. Like, she
Yeah,
attracts
it
like
grew like
million
a million
millions
people.
millions of people. Now think of one trans American artist who could do that, or a drag queen, like one, like crickets, right. We had Sylvester, but even he had to kind of hide his transness. He was like a gay man for a long time. So it's like Brazil was just ahead of the game. It's like, it's undeniable, right? And so there's a politician. This all comes back around to Erica Hilton, who's a very left, very progressive, and she was chosen to become the what is it? The president. Let me read it correctly here. She's elected the president of the Commission for the Defense of Women's Rights in the Brazilian Chamber of the Deputies. And I think it's interesting that she was elected to be in there, but at the same time, it's interesting because it generates this conversation that I hadn't heard before, which I also like because it's more open, and and for whatever reason, it seems like Brazilians like chilled out politically for now, or maybe it's just because America is so trumped up, pardon the pun, that it feels like Brazil's like chill for once. And but this generated a debate, which for me was surprising, even came from women that consider themselves more progressive or left. That they're like, yes, I'm happy that she has this position, but she's not a actual woman. And that conversation is now like it's brewing, but it's being done. Like, of course, there's some level of transphobia coming from it, but it seems like it's being done intelligently, which again, big big difference from where Brazil was like 5 years ago. Now, I'm not sure if I like it's a worrisome apathy, because it's like I wonder if people just kind of gave up. They're like, whatever. It's just this is what it is. We're never gonna see the Epstein files, or is it because people are growing up a little bit? I hope it's because people are growing up a little bit because I follow a lot of the younger politicians, left and right, just to see how they are talking, and it seems like they see like how the older politicians do politics. It's just like, he did this and he's lying about that. And it's just a lot of name calling. And it seems like they're kind of like, that's not for us, which is why, like somebody like Erica Hilton, I disagree politically with her, but I can listen to her, and I'll sometimes I'll share something that she says that okay, I agree with that. I can't do that as much with older politicians. Like I'm not sharing anything Lula's or Bolsonaro's saying anytime soon because they just had a different vision of what politics can be. So who knows? Hopefully this conversation continues and she has her position. I wish her the best there. And it starts bringing people together. Hopefully, because you say this and then the exact opposite happens because then there's a political election and blah blah blah, and the stakes are high. But who knows? All right. So, guys, that's what's happening in Brazil. And hello, life is. We are wonderful, and I hope you are doing well. So, guys, today we're going to talk about São Paulo, okay? Because in the last couple of weeks, I've been in a lot of these forums. I'm all over the place on social media, and I'm looking at comments. We had that lady that we showed on the show a couple weeks ago, right? Which was she was crying about, São Paulo driving me nuts, and I can't deal with it. Remember that video, Pete?
Mm.
She was yeah, really going through it here, and I can't make friends, and this and that and the third. And sometimes there's people
Yeah,
that just
being really specific though, it's like she can only be friends
mhm.
with a really select group of people. So, I mean, you're kind of limiting yourself there.
I know. I mean, I don't know. I happen to really love São Paulo, so that's what we're gonna talk about. Because I see videos like that, which I'm like, are you like, what's going on over here? Because that's a lot of emotion coming out. I get it; it's a tough city, but there's a lot to do here. Like, really, really, really a lot to do. And like, the
Yeah,
only
and a
thing you
lot of
can't do
free.
is you can't go to the beach. Like, that's it.
Hmm.
And a lot of it's free. Yes, a lot of it's free. And so I I don't know. I don't get how people can get that depressed here. I mean, I can get it if it's like you have no mobility. And I've had moments in my life here in Sao Paulo where I had no mobility for like a month or 2 months. And yeah, I was stuck in a neighborhood that I hated. And I'm like, I could never live here. This is boring. This is depressing. Wow, get me out. And I got out. But I knew it was a temporary stay because I was in between homes, as they say. Um, but if you have mobility, I mean, there's so much to do, so much to do. So we're going to be talking about that today, maybe giving you guys some tips. And other times it was just regular tips. By the way, guys, it's not just people that are going out of their minds, but it's also people that just ask. It was in a WhatsApp group, and this person was asking, "Hey, where are there clubs and bars to go to?" And I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
man, São Paulo's huge.
Yeah,
You can't
that's a
like that.
complex,
That's not a
complex
question. It's
question.
not
You could answer
like
that for
it's
3 shows.
very complex. I know we could do 3 shows on just every like we'll go by zonas. Okay, the best bars me and Pete have been to in Zona Leste, and then the best ones in Zona Weste, and then the best. We could do
Yeah, or
three
you
or
could
four
go by
shows on just
style.
bars.
Like, what are
And
you
actually,
looking for? Are you looking for Western style pubs? Are you looking
exactly.
for clubs, gay bars, live music bars? Like, there's all kinds, man.
I know there's every taste, guys. So it's a really impossible question to answer. We're gonna do our best to try to answer it. And we're gonna go kind of through categories, Pete. So, as usual, we're kind of freestyle a little bit, sort of organized, but sort of freestyle because we both work like dogs. So whatever comes to mind, Pete. So things to do in São Paulo, just so you know, though, São Paulo is an old city, about 400. No, it is 470 years old. Has 11 to 12 million people living in it. Largest city in South America. It's the financial capital, and it's really one of the most culturally dense cities in Latin America. It really is, guys. When you think of Sao Paulo, Pete, like what's the first image that comes to mind? Like if you had to be the ad man and just give a slogan, one sentence slogan for São Paulo.
One sentence slogan. Yeah, one sentence slogan. We have everything.
That I agree with that. Yes, we have everything. Look at this. I wrote this article here in my old WordPress blog. I used to be a blogger, guys. I'm gonna get back into it because I've been writing a lot on Reddit. And next move for the BJ guys, by the way, is a little website. So I'll be able to download all these videos, put them up, and I don't know. I'm gonna play around with it. But when I think of it, look, Central Center of Brazil has a lot of stuff here. You've been to this before, Pete, like the cultural
That's the
festival, 24-hour cultural festival, Virada Cultural.
Oh, right, cultural.
Really
Yeah.
fun, right? Economic,
Fortunately, used to be.
yeah. It's really. I know it's kind of died down a little bit. It used to be amazing, but then it got too bureaucratic, extremely bureaucratic. It's kind of boring now. Economic center of Brazil, and I took this picture here. I used to work near those buildings. World class parks and reserves, guys. And when we say world class, like seriously, like ranked top 10, top newspapers like the
Yes.
Times, Guardians, Ibirapuera Park, the Botanical Gardens. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And then we have a mix of people. Oh, I took that picture too. That's a drag artist on the street there in 2015. So, yeah, you want diversity. People always go, oh, diversity, diversity. Come to Sao Paulo. It's just that thing. It's the secret. That's the secret sauce, Pete. Because people come here and they go to like Avenida Paulista and they're like, Phil keeps saying there's diversity here. And nah, nothing wrong with white people. I love my white folks, but that's what you're going to see in that area. And then you're coming here, you're a little bit more melanated. You're like, what the hell's Phil talking about? You got to go out to the suburbs, people. Suburbs. That's where the fun people are. That's where me and Pete are. And that's where Craig will be in a couple of days, apparently, right? So we're gonna meet up with a friend, Craig, who's a good friend of the show, always watching us here and there, and he's coming to São Paulo, and he's gonna come out to the suburbs, man, because that's where the party's at. Um,
Called
yeah, and
Butantas.
speaking of that, distinct neighborhoods. Yes. Yeah, we're out here, and you can kind of avoid it for the most part. I don't want to get into crime stuff tonight, but compared to like I don't know, I feel because Rio everything's kind of clustered together. São Paulo's so spread out that depending where you end up in São Paulo and what you're doing and what time of day you operate, like you just nothing will ever happen to you. But you got to be smart too. Food choices, you got everything. Like Sao Paulo is a restaurant city. And I took that picture right. Actually, I think I took all these pictures. So this is actual food that Phil has eaten. Oh, this shawarma place. Do you remember this shawarma place, Pete? Called Mr. Shawarma. It opened
No, I
a
don't.
little bit before the pandemic in Pinheiros. Oh my God, I
Oh,
haven't had a shawarma as good as that one.
the
This is the
the
best one,
bar
and
actually
then
right
it
under
closed
my apartment
unfortunately.
don't do shawarma.
Oh, well, I gotta try it then
Yes,
because I've been
bamboo
looking for
pickle.
one as good as this one. All right, I'll try. I love a good shawarma,
It's not
and
cheap.
yeah, unfortunately, victim of COVID.
Yeah.
Man, I'll pay a little extra. And I told you what happened was last week I got the Indian food and I had no spice at all. Like luckily I had curry here at home. I gave him a 1-star review on iFood. Sorry guys, you gotta get a little bit of spice if you're gonna make any. And there's no naan. How do you have a Indian? How do you dare open an Indian restaurant and not have naan? That's like the basic. That's like if you open a Brazilian restaurant and you don't have fucking beans.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
basic. You don't have farinha. Like, what are you thinking? Come on. No, they deserve that nasty review. And
I've
this is
ordered
the
food
inside
off
the. Oh,
iFood.
sorry.
It's pretty good.
Say that again because you cut out a little.
Sorry, I've ordered Indian food off iFood twice, and both times have been pretty good.
Yes, I have too. There was another because you know what I like to do. Like I'm with Eduardo Hill, and we like to every like at least once a month try something different, right? So even if it's the same food type, we'll try like from a different restaurant. And we actually ordered a really good one. Like I'm going back to that first one because it was like perfection, and it was like Indian and Thai, and I think did it no. No, they didn't have Korean, but I think it was Indian and Thai, so we were able to get like a little mix of both, and it, oof. And I'll look up the name, guys. I'll look it up, and then I'll let you know in the next show. But I forgot the name now. And then this pizzeria is really good inside the Pinheiros Municipal Market. All those pictures were from in there, and you can see they actually use tomato sauce, which is something they don't put on pizzas in Brazil. And it's close to other cities,
They
guys. So
followed you.
okay, yeah, but not like I'm used to, like a Philly pizza. Like I'm talking Philly, New York slice, man. That thing is like, it's wet with tomato sauce. Anybody from the Philadelphia, New York, Northeast is like their mouth is watering just listening to me talk about the pizza with that, you know. So yeah, they don't do that in Brazil. Anyway, look at this, guys. You don't have a beach. Okay, boo hoo. Oh no, I can't go to the beach. You know, there's
Building one,
cesties and
though.
there's water parks. They're building the beach. There you go. And, but it's
Yeah, I think
close. I mean, you don't want to. They want to.
it's
Go
at
ahead.
no, no. They're building an artificial beach at a hotel in Itaimbebe. I read somewhere. Might even be done by now because it was a long time ago. But there will actually be like an
Oh
artificial
my God.
beach in the city.
Oh God. Okay, just for like millionaires though. Like, well, I'm not getting in there. You're not getting in there. You're
Yeah,
definitely not getting in there.
yeah.
You're not getting in Guarapiranga. So, and with the Guarapiranga, by the way, is the São Paulo beach. So, by the way, so here, you got to travel a little bit, like an hour. But the good thing is, see, that's the thing though. You get best of both worlds when you're in São Paulo, because you go an hour and a half, 2 hours one way. You're gonna get Santos. You're gonna get a nice, beautiful city beach. A lot of people live there. You know, the whole southern coast, and you can go northern coast. Maybe you got to drive 2, 3 hours, but you get there. And then, though, if you go in the other direction, you start getting these beautiful cities that are inland, like São José dos Campos. You get a big city like Campinas, and you get all those little cities like Vinhedo and São Carlos, and like the wine cities. And so you're like surrounded by so much when you're in Sao Paulo, and it's all these cities with good infrastructure. They're, you know, well built, historic. Also, you have a lot of free, like Pete was saying, free or very cheap stuff to do. And there's another picture I took. I didn't realize this article had a lot of pictures I took, but I like that one. And that's on Paulista Avenue, and that's when the city started to close on Sundays. They started closing the street for car traffic, and there's live music. You can bring your own music. You can bring your own. So check this out. Look at this. You can have a completely free day in Sao Paulo. You make your food at home, put in a little bag, take the bus for free, go all the way up to Paulista, walk around, see a lot of stuff, see free live music, sit in the park, eat your food, and then take another bus, see historic downtown, do a whole thing. And you know what you can do? Woo! You can hire me to take you on that tour. So, and there's a very active expat community. Okay, so we have an expat page of over 3,000 in amazing street art. I'm so happy I took this picture because this is all faded now. Even though I mean it's not the best camera. I love this little piece of art that I took a picture of. That's a nice little mural in Lapa of Louis Armstrong, one of my favorite murals in Villa Madalena. There's one in Villa Sonia, close to where I live. You had the little elephants at one point. I love this graffiti in Pinheiros. There's another famous one by Cobra. Unfortunately, that one was taken down. One of my favorite little graffitis at Pinheiros train station. One of my favorite. I love this one. This one's still up. This is downtown Sao Paulo. One of my favorite murals. This one, I don't know if it's still up. It was on the sidewalk, but I always thought it was very pretty. And this one's amazing in Lapa. So, guys, this is just a taste of like the amount of street art that you have in Sao Paulo. It's incredible. And somebody like me who was from Philadelphia, and you know, the Philadelphia Mural Arts Project is one of the biggest mural art projects in the world. So I appreciate street art like you don't believe. And so when I get to Sao Paulo and I see it everywhere, it's like, ooh, I am home. So, Pete, parks. There's 174. What? No, what is it? No, more than 1,000. Sorry, I can't read these Brazilian numbers. But there's a lot of parks in green spaces in Sao Paulo. All right. So I think we have a lot to choose from. Any favorite parks? Are you a park goer?
Yes, actually. I've been to quite a few. And I think the one that everyone is probably more likely to be aware of is Ibirapuera Park, which is the one that has been compared to some of the best parks in the world. It's usually ranked in the top 10 of parks in the world. So we're talking up there with Central Park, Hyde Park. To be honest, I don't think it's quite on Central Park level or even Stanley Park level, which is the big park in Vancouver, but it's a pretty great park. It's huge. I don't go there that often because there's no metro station in the immediate vicinity. So,
I'm showing it on the screen here.
yeah. But yeah, it's a huge park. It's beautiful. It attracts a wide range of people.
Yeah, it
There's
can
a
take a
huge
while to get
lake.
there. But you can see it's very picturesque. And oh, guys, my internet is bad today. If I share stuff, it just goes off and you can't hear Pete at all. So let me stop sharing. But yes, Ibirapuera Park. I'll write it here. So if you're listening along, Google it. Ibirapuera Park. And it took me about a year and a half to learn how to say that. It's a difficult word to say, guys. A very difficult word to say. Hello, Pete. How are you? Life is was asking. I don't know if I had read this. And Anthony says he's great. I'm glad folks are listening. So, even up Water Park, yes, I think it was ranked one of the top 10 parks in the world. It is beautiful. Go
Mhm.
there on the weekday if you can. If you're a traveler, you got free time, you're not obligated to just go places on the weekend, go on a Tuesday, please, because it packs. It is a hot spot here in Sao Paulo for tourists and just people in the city. And like Pete said, it's huge. You can get lost in there. There's a lot of
Yeah,
beautiful things
yeah.
to
Bring a
see.
compass or have your GPS on because it can be hard to find your way out once you're in. And if you ask
Yeah,
for
this
the
is one of my favorite
exit,
places in the park. But
if you ask for the exit, I mean, there's a million entrances and exits. So where you come out may be completely different than where you went in. And if you're not familiar with the area, you will be freaking lost.
I agree. I agree. I agree. Cause yeah, it's very windy in there. So like Pete said, Central Park is still one of my favorite parks. In but Ibirapuera, it's up there. It's like top five. I think I like Villa Lobos Park a little bit more. And my favorite park in the city, I have a video of it, is Agua Branca Park. That's my
Ah,
favorite.
yes, Agua Blanca Park is really nice too.
Yeah.
And it's very condensed. It's not a huge park, but
No,
they actually
yeah.
have a lot of community events there. Like last time I was there, I just wandered in because I was buying concert tickets across the street, and yeah, they had a freaking rodeo going on.
Oh, nice. I haven't seen a rodeo there yet. I really want to. But you see, Agua Branca Park, which means whitewater park, but it's not like whitewater rafting or anything like
There's no
that.
white
So
water
it's
in the park.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, the water is clear, I guess. It's clean. Like agua branca is just, I guess, an expression for like clean water. Look how beautiful this is, guys. And it's so serene. It's weird because you walk in there and you got this busy highway. Like literally, like the entrance of the park is on the sidewalk of one of the busiest highways in Sao Paulo, or roadways, whatever you want to call it. And then you walk like 100 feet in, or even less, and it's just
Yeah, they have a really nice
oh,
picnic
how the
space in there with barbecue pits. So you can just like bring your own shit, like bring your own meat and everything. And, if you can find one
mm,
free, you should be able to do on a day that doesn't have an event. You can just set up at a picnic table and have a barbecue. I mean, you need to
yeah,
bring your own charcoal and shit and all your own food, of course. But yeah, you can
nice,
just have yourself a big old fashioned outdoor barbecue in the park.
nice. Look at this, guys. It's not that big.
No,
That's at the bottom here. See this kind of gray area. That's that big avenue I was telling you about. And yeah, the entrance is right here. This is where they have the horses. I guess that's where Pete saw the rodeo. But then you can kind of get lost a little bit back here. It's kind of windy. It's cute, and it's really chilled, man. Like once you get past like these first trees here, it's like you left the city. It's like Alice in Wonderland. It has a real calming effect. This park, I don't know, something special about it. So that's really my favorite park. It reminds me of the one. Look at this. Now I'm gonna get all cheeky on y'all. Is it Luxembourg Park? That's in Paris.
not sure.
Yeah, man. This is the only other place I felt that sensation. Luxembourg Park. Okay, because I am a cheeky bitchy. Okay, and I was there, and man, these trees. It's like you walk. It's like as if you had walked into a painting. Like literally, like I walked into a Monet painting. I'm in here. I get it, and I don't know. I think some places, and this is me getting all kind of spiritual woo. But I just think some places have some type of vibration. People build stuff on top of it, and it works. Because Agua Branca is the same way. At least for me, when I walk in, I feel a different vibration. It's like I walked into like something else. Anyway, guys, let's talk about Pete because we did talk. We're not here all night. To museums, because
Okay,
that's another thing. I'm not a museum fan,
more park that deserves
but there's
mention.
a lot of these.
Okay, one more
Tell me,
park we didn't mention here. Trianon Park. Trianon Park's right
that
in the
deserves
middle of the.
mention.
It's on Polista Avenue. So if you're one of those people that's
Uh,
like,
tr-
yeah, if you've come to Brazil
in a
to see the beach
rush.
and you're just in Sao Paulo for a short time, that's probably going to be your
Yes.
close avenue for a park. And it's this. It looks
Yes.
great from above, but it's this yeah, little
Yes.
quiet forest right in the middle of the urban jungle. Lots of cool pathways, lots of places
Oh,
to fish,
nice.
enjoy the greenery. So I really like Trianon Park.
All
Whenever I'm
right.
in the Paulista area, if I'm not pressed for time, I try and spend a little time there.
Yeah, let me see if I can get this going. I'm gonna share here, Pete. So quiet for a little bit because it really f's your voice when I share. But I just want to show the picture here. But good catch. Yeah, that's a good catch. Trianon Park. And like Pete said, look at this picture from above here. Very nice. And yeah, it's another park that it's small, but the greenery is so dense that depending on where you are in it, you can almost not hear the city, which is tough because you're like literally on the busiest city in Sao Paulo. It's a cute little place. They even have Tai Chi in the morning. So you get there like at 7 a.m. You're going to see the old Asian ladies doing their little Tai Chi. It's cute. Very cute park. Yeah. So yeah, good catch. Good catch. If you're just here for a quick stay, boom, go to Three Unknown Park. All right. I hope that's sharing. The internet's so slow. I think it's sharing or not. But anyway, oh, there it is. Pete, I'm not a big museum fan.
No.
But speaking of Trianon, you have Maspi right next to it. Yeah, which is the Museum of Art of São Paulo, brutalist style, beautiful building. I have actually never been inside Maspi. Have you been inside Maspi?
No, I have not. But there is a reason for that. And the reason is it's free on Wednesdays. So I've always told myself I'm going to go when it's free. I'm not going to pay to go to something I can see for free. But
I
the
got
problem
you.
is when you go on Wednesdays, the lineup to get in is hours long. I've tried twice and I've just given up. Um,
Yes,
they have
I can
some
imagine.
exhibits. Yeah, and the reason I gave up is because, like, if it's that many people outside, inside is going to be hell. Like, getting from one exhibit to the
Uh
next
huh.
is going to be a chore. So, I don't know, man. If this is something you really want to see, go on any day but Wednesday and just pay the damn entry fee.
I agree. I agree. And what Pete said though is kind of a cool thing though, is that most museums in Brazil, in São Paulo, are free. Well, there's a day. Some are like every Tuesday, every Wednesday, or every Thursday. It's usually one of those 3 days. And there's so much access to art down here. I'm not a huge museum fan, but I do like galleries. And I don't know, is it the same thing? Is it not the same thing? I guess galleries have a little bit more modern art, if you want to call it art. But I do appreciate them more. And Sao Paulo has some of the best art galleries, like worldwide. Like I actually taught English at a gallery called Noel Rosa Gallery. I saw so many wonderful pieces of art there. So Sao Paulo art galleries. If we go here, we have oh, there you go. Top 15 best Sao Paulo art galleries. What's the one? The famous one is qual é a japonesa que tem a galeria famosa? There's a really famous one in Pinheiros. Tomiotaki. Yeah, the Tomiotaki. I had to ask a friend here. I forgot Tomiotaki. World renowned galleries. If this opens, you can see it. So São Paulo, Tomiotaki is like the first one. Zipper Galeria, Galeria Melissa São Paulo. It got more jacquardies. Either galleries or some type of cultural center. Passo das Artes, Espaço Olavo, Teatro Antigo. So, man, if you're an art lover, if you're a culture lover, like São Paulo is the place where you got to be. But it also has, man, this list it just goes on and on and on. That's cool though. Like I'm happy when that happens. Um, and then we have also São Paulo. Let me just go here real quick. And by the way, hello Vic. I see that you're on your way here now. He's in Seattle. I think you said Seattle, Toronto. And then you have a lot of museums. Best museums. And let's see if we got the 10 best museums. Have you been to any of these, Pete? Let's see, because I've probably been to zero, guys.
I'm guessing one of my favorites is
I
not
don't
on
know
the list.
what it is about museums. I can do galleries, but museums. Which one is your favorite?
The Museum of Radio, Television, and
So look at
Film.
this. We have the Pinacoteca, guys. Oh, do they have one here in Sao Paulo? I didn't know that.
They do. It's in Jardines. It's there's no metro station
Oh,
near
I'm gonna
there,
go
but
there.
get by. You basically take a bus up or down Hebosis, depending on which way you're going. Get off at the Burger King, swing a right, walk 3 blocks, turn right, and it's there.
Mhm. All right, Pete. Let's mark a date. Let's go on a date, man. A hetero date
Yeah,
to this because we haven't had a non-gay date in a while.
yeah, I know. You gotta check their schedule though, because like the thing about it is they have some really cool exhibits. Like they had one for Tim Burton,
Mm.
and the last time I
Oh,
was there
nice.
was a Wilder exhibit, which was amazing. They had a recreation of the ballroom from Some Like It Hot, and they had a life-size
Oh, wow.
projection of Marilyn Monroe on stage singing "I Want to Be Loved by You."
Look at
They
Pete,
they
hiding
had
gems.
yeah. It's a really cool museum, but you got to check their schedule to find the events, and it is also free on Wednesdays.
There you go, guys. So, like, Pete's doing advertising for São Paulo. So you see, if you love arts, you want to be down here. Look at the museum scene. So Pinacoteca is considered like it's the Louvre. It's like this the big one. I haven't been there, but people really love it. I actually want to go to this one because I found out about this one recently, and it's almost like a Benjamin Franklin. Oh, Benjamin Franklin Institute. Yeah. Oh, every Philadelphian says it like that. Franklin Institute museum is kind of a science museum, so I might actually dig going there. I like kind of museums like that. Then you got Mosby. I've been here a few times, guys. I recommend going here because it's a cultural center and they have different expos, pretty much like seasonal, and it's great. Some of the expos, I got a few videos on my Instagram and YouTube from here. We got the Museum of Football. This is a cool one. The Portuguese Language Museum, very interactive. So maybe that's what it is. Like my ADHD brain just needs stuff that's more interactive and
Yeah,
art
there's a
galleries
Black
sometimes have
History Museum
installations.
near Praça República as well.
Yeah. Oh, Museum de Imagem de Som. That's a cool one. The Image and Sound Museum. Sometimes they'll have like some weird Bowie exhibit or something. The Ipiranga Museum. I haven't been inside, but this garden area is, dude. This is like some of the
Yes,
most beautiful. Like this picture does
I know
not
some
do
people
it
who live
justice.
in the
Like,
area. I
cause
have some students who live in the area, and
it,
they go there all the time just for
yeah,
the ambiance.
man. It is gorgeous. Like speaking of Luxembourg Park, this is like Luxembourg on like extra steroids, but it's beautiful and it's peaceful and it's just wow, it's perfection. This place. And then you have the
Yeah,
Museum of Immigration. Haven't been there. Casa de Rosa, I've been to. It's very cool there. They usually have different type of events inside. Like last time I went, they had this cool. It was a Chekhov play. Uncle something or other. I forgot the uncle's name. Anyway, and the way that they did the play, Pete, is like they would move around the house and each scene, so if the scene was in the kitchen, they'd be in the kitchen, and then they go like, now this next scene's in the bedroom. So like we would have to follow the actors into the bedroom, and then they'd have a scene there, and then it was cool. It was like an interactive play. It was very cool. So yes, and Chekhov lives in Brazil. I have not seen this one. Museum the Artes Sacras, a sacred art museum, and it goes on and on. I've been to this one. The zoology museum is very cool. So I've
yeah.
been to a couple of these museums. I like
Speaking of
the kind of
zoology,
cooler,
well,
more
Sao Paulo
interactive.
does
Oh,
have a
there's the
zoo.
Afro Brazilian Museum inside Ibirapuera Park. Uh, yeah, so there's a lot to do here. A lot to do here.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's give a shout out to Institut Bhutan, which is
Wait, let me stop sharing because you're cutting out. All right, talk now.
hi.
Talk now.
Yeah, so there's also Institut Bhutan, which is kind of like a cross between a park and a museum.
Oh, yes.
It's actually about, I don't know, 6 blocks down the road from where I live, but it's a really cool science park, and it's an immunology research center. But they've turned it into this nice little park. It's a great place to walk. There's a little miniature rainforest with a path through it that has a lot of exotic birds. They
Yes.
have a monkey house, a reptile pit, and they also have various exhibits you can see about the history of immunization. It was actually where they developed the COVID vaccine here. Some people might not be aware, but one of the COVID vaccines was a joint Chinese Brazilian effort. It was the first one that was rolled out here. So you can see where they
Hmm.
developed that as well. And, actually talk to real scientists if you have any questions about vaccine safety and all that stuff. Like scientists love to talk. So you can
Hmm.
do that as well. But it's a nice little park. It's totally free. the some of the exhibits cost money to see, but if you go there, you'll see like tons of school kids on field trips. Like every school takes their
Mhm.
class there on a field trip at some point.
Yeah, very famous place. And like Pete said, it's like a mix of like a park, but also it's a science institute. And there you go, you have the actual a science site. So that's why a lot of kids go there for the field trips. But it's also, let me see if they have it here. No, there's just a nice picture of the park. Let me put it on images. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
Awesome.
apparently they used
Very
to have
beautiful park here
crocodiles
in the
there
city.
too, but my friend told
So
me
me
that
and
too
the
many kids daring other kids to jump into the crocodile pit, so they got rid of the crocodiles.
oh, they used to have crocodiles. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Oh no. Well, I wouldn't put anything past Brazil, seriously, because there used to be a park near my house that had lions, actual lions. It was kind of like one of those clandestine zoos, kind of like what's his name, Tiger King type deals. And my friend Kyle, you've met Kyle before. He's like, man, I used to like get scared shitless when I was little because I used to hear this lion roar close to the favela. And I'm like, come on. But yeah, there's like anything could happen in São Paulo, guys. Anything could happen. Yes, there are lions in São Paulo. But I definitely agree with Pete. Go to Instituto Putanta. Uh, let's move along because what time is it? Yeah, I can't keep Pete up past his bedtime. We already talked a lot. Cultural centers and arts, that kind of all falls into the idea of all these little what do you call them, Pete? Museums and galleries and stuff like that. What I think you guys should know is like where to go to find that stuff, and a lot of it is going to be on in Paulista Avenue, okay, and in the historic center of São Paulo. Now, a few specific ones, you got to Google it, but it'll be in neighborhoods around that area. I mean, Pinheiros has a lot of nice galleries. Villa Madalena is famous for having a lot of nice galleries, but that's again, that kind of like embraces that whole center area, even if it's not technically the center. So if you stay around that area, or like Pete, he mentioned a neighborhood called Jardins, that's just off Paulista. You just walk like 10 blocks, whatever, eight down, you're in Jardins. If you walk the other way, there's a street called Rua Augusta. you know that's going to be another place where you're going to find a lot of these cool little galleries. And that's the advice that I gave the girl in the group, the expat group, who was like, where could I go? We just want to go out. It's like, man, some of the best places I found is just walking. Like that's the paradox of Sao Paulo, Pete. I think is that it's so huge, but at the same time, it's still very much a walking city. And
yeah,
the more you walk around it, the more you find all these cool little places. Because it's almost like every neighborhood is so big, it's its own little city. So as soon as you take like a long ass bus trip to that neighborhood, then you just walk around it, and you're like, oh, well, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. Anyway, restaurants. Okay, guys, that's one reason that people just come to Sao Paulo. Just they come to Sao Paulo to eat. Sao Paulo was ranked like top 10. Let me see, top 10 restaurant city. Let me make sure I got my facts right. But I'm pretty sure. Well, this is it's crazy now. You can't get an answer without AI anymore. Like they don't show the articles first. It's like whatever the hell AI overview said. I mean, it's helpful though. That's the problem. But anyway, it's often within the top 5 or 10 of its immense diversity and quality. It's ranked up there, and they do have some sources at least, right? Top ranked restaurants: A Casa de Porco, Dome is considered one of the top restaurants in the world. Renowned for their pizzerias, guys. São Paulo pizza is the bomb. It is so good. And yeah, there's a bunch of lists that you can just go for best restaurants, but that's if you want to spend a little. The secret of São Paulo is that even like the mid, and even you could consider like low mid restaurants are good because you're getting like auntie in the kitchen, cooking with grandma, and they're making like some real deal food for like, however much they charge, which is probably going to be like a tenth of what you're going to spend in like go to one of these two because the food is incredible. And I feel is very chic, guys. Yes, but I have eaten at Bistro de Paris and it is delicious. Haven't been to Famiglia Mancini, but I plan on it. I have been here. Oh, yes, very good. I've been to Rubaiyat. Delicious. I've been to man. Phil is a chic bitch, man. I've been to Tejas Italia. I highly recommend it. So if you can get to these kind of chic places, do it, y'all, because you are not gonna be disappointed. Although extra diva, because the food here sucks. Actually, I went on a long rant about how the food. Look at this. It's like those food for rich white people that looks pretty but tastes like shit, and it's really expensive. And so I do not recommend the food. Do not eat it. But the views are spectacular and the drinks are out of this world. So I recommend it if you want to just hang out for like 30 minutes to an hour, listen to some jazz, have some drinks. It is, I highly recommend it. And I was actually there last time with Ace. So you can see me and Ace up there in the Ace Live video that he made of his time here in Sao Paulo. But then, Pete,
All right. Well, it seems like we kind of lost Phil there. I'm not much of a restaurant person myself, but some general recommendations here. If you are in Brazil, you got to do the churrascarias. They're plentiful in Sao Paulo. They're everywhere. They range from the high end, which you can be looking at spending more than 100 reais. Um,
right?
they're usually the chains. I think Bovino's is one of the more famous ones, but they are quality. Like you get a lot more. Sometimes you get seafood, you get desserts, but the cheaper ones, which you can find a lot of them in the city center, the Centro area, particularly on Avenida Sauhimo. There's a good one. I don't remember the name of it, but I think it's only about 30 reais. For 30 reais, you get most of the usual meat stuff, no seafood, and a decent salad bar. It's not going to include dessert or sushi or anything, but you're going to get a pretty good fill for like 30 bucks. So the churrascarias are good. Sao Paulo is also home to the largest Japanese population outside of Japan. So tons of Japanese places. This includes teppanyaki, um, sushi hodizio. Hodizio is basically all you can eat. They just come around to your table. And they have this not only for barbecue, but they have it for sushi and they have it for pizza. Stay away from the Hodizio pizza. It's horrible. I go to a real pizzeria. And the other thing I would say is that we have a lot of Mexican restaurants now, which we didn't have when I first got here in 2014. Like the arrival of Taco Bell, which Phil and I actually went to the opening of the first Taco Bell here. That was a big deal, but it opened a lot of people's eyes that, hey, there's a market for Mexican food here. And now there's a lot of places where you can get Mexican food. One I think is on Hua Gusta. I'm not sure, not far from Shopping 3, but pretty good, reasonably priced. It's pricier than local food, but not substantially. And most of what I've had is quality. Some of them are run by real Mexicans.
All right, I'm back, Pete. Thank you. Yeah, Pete just ran down all the food choices here. I'm glad you talked about Tex-Mex because I remember when there was no Tex-Mex in São Paulo at all. It was sad, man, very sad. But the one that I like the best is in there's a Tex-Mex restaurant in wow, there's so many now, but I forgot the name. But it's out in Zona Leste. I think it's called El Punto Loco or something. But now I put El Punto Loco and I got El Nacho Loco, Taco Loco, El Camp, like they're all named. No, it's La Buena Onda. I remember the name. It just came to me, guys. If you want to have good Tex Mex, hopefully I won't fall out again, guys. But it's tough to do a city tour type show without showing some images. But if I get knocked out, just carry on. I'll come back in. La Buena Onda, which is delicious. And I've told this story of how the first time I ate at one of their food trucks, I was with my friend Alisa, and she's from LA, so she's around Mexicans all day. And we were starving for Tex-Mex, guys. We had zero in Brazil, and the ones that they had it was just like they just put like Brazilian beans on some like a wrap or something. It was horrible. And when we ate out of this guy's food truck, we both did like Wayne's World, like we're not worthy, we're not worthy. It was funny, man. It was so good. And we finally got to go to the actual restaurant, and it's just as good. We got a few
Yeah,
people on here, Pete,
and
some friends of the
and if you get
show.
a chance, if you get a
Ooh, ooh,
chance,
ooh.
depending on when you're here, go to one of the food festivals at the Latin American Memorial. It's right near the Barrafunda
Mm,
Station, and about six times a year they have
yes,
this huge international food festival. It has live music. Sometimes they actually have live pro wrestling because there is a Brazilian
yes.
ocean. And they have food from everywhere there. They have like Mexican food, they have craft beer, they have food from most South American countries, Venezuela, Chile, lots of barbecue. So you can sample a little bit of everything. The only problem is that millions of people go there. And as a result, you can expect to wait like 45 minutes to an hour in line just
Yes.
just to order your food and then another half hour to do it.
To get
So
it. Mm.
chill and have some beer so that you're a little more patient and enjoy the music and try and look for a time that's not a peak time to order and get your food. But the food festivals here are amazing.
They are. I agree with you. Now, we have a few people listening in that I want to say hi to. First is Travelmatic. What's up, man? I was listening back to our show about the Travel Bros. That was a very educational show, guys. Go back and watch that. I love it. He gave a lot of good information, Travelmatic, in that episode. And Anthony McGrew, thanks for coming on. And he's asking some questions here. And he's asking about the Akata. I actually did a video about my first time trying Akata like in my life. And I had to give the rest to my friend. It was like really nasty. Actually, it was at that Luxembourg, no, the Ipiranga Park. It was like when I went there with my friend Young, and then after I was like, let me try some of this Akata people keep talking about, and it was disgusting, y'all. But then, Anthony, this is the moral of the story. I went to Salvador and I tried the acarajé there from one of those food trucks. And I told the lady, the Bayana, I was like, you got to go to São Paulo and kick their ass because they're calling that shit down there acarajé. And she just laughed. And she's like, yeah, that's not acarajé. Acarajé is delicious up in Bahia. But in São Paulo, I mean, I only ate one. Maybe there's somebody that makes a good one down here, but I doubt it compared to what I ate up there. So my thing, and then he went on. Anthony went on to ask about moqueca, which is my favorite dish ever. And guys, I have never eaten a moqueca in so well. Actually, I have, but it's not good. It's not good. The only good muqueca I had in São Paulo was my very first one, which was made by, it was so weird. It was like this, my very, very first private English student. It was this older woman from Bahia. She was like in her 50s or so. And her mom was over, and it was her mom's birthday, and her mom was like in her 70s, and she spent like 3, 4 days making this muqueca, and she invited me over to have this muqueca with her and this pina juice, and it was like, wow, that's Brazilian hospitality. But guys, that muqueca, imagine a 7-year-old Bahian woman in Sao Paulo in the kitchen, locked up in that kitchen for 4 days making that. You know that's going to taste good. It's the best. It's the only. I will not eat another moqueca in Sao Paulo, even if you pay me, because I know it's not going to taste that good. Because one, it's going to be kind of factory made, and two, the fish is old. Now, up in Bahia, that's where you're gonna get the real shit. Like Anthony took me to a wonderful restaurant, and they have that mexicala. That I don't know, I forgot all the pronunciation. So they have all these variations of it. Do not eat Bahian food in São Paulo, guys. Wait till you get to Bahia, or we're lucky with muqueca because we have two choices. And the second choice, I don't care. For me, it's a tie. The capixaba muqueca is delicious, and that's the muqueca that comes from the uh, Vitoria region. And in fact, muqueca, there's like variations of it throughout Brazil, but those are the two most famous ones: the one from Vitoria and the one from Salvador, which uses the palm oil. That's what gives it the difference. It's a little bit heavier and spicier than the muqueca that you get in Vitoria. So, long story short, Anthony, don't come to Sao Paulo to go eat Bahian food. You will be disappointed. And you live in Salvador, so you will be highly disappointed. Like, come here and eat Mineiro food. Mineiro food is delicious here. Come here and, Travelmatic said, all I need is Brazilian barbecue. Yes. Eat your Gaúcho barbecues. So food that's like more farm food is going to be taste really good in Sao Paulo. Seafood, I can't name one time I ate seafood in here in São Paulo. I was like, yeah. And I went to a seafood festival and I ate a lot of seafood that day. It was good, but it's like it still does not compare to like anything I ate in Salvador because it's old. It's been in a fucking truck for 2 days. So yeah. Anyway, clubs and nightlife, Pete. Let's wrap this up. We're about to wrap this up. We got clubs and nightlife now, guys. That's what the girl was asking. She's like, yo, where can we go to at night? I'm like, that's an impossible question. Like, like what I told her, and I'm going to write the names down so I don't have to keep sharing the screen. So if you want to go out at night, you got to go to either Villa Madalena, which is a neighborhood I'm not a fan of, but, to each their own. There's a lot of bars and clubs, and there's a few areas of Villa Madalena which are tolerable. You can go to Pinheiros. They also have a lot of clubs and bars and kind of like very street, more of a street vibe. If you want to go like indoor clubs, in both Villa Madalena too, more street vibe, like a few places you go in, but mostly that spill out into the street. Now, if you want to go in a place, you want to go to Rua Augusta. Those clubs are a bit smaller because it's almost like South Street. If anybody's familiar with Philadelphia or maybe I don't know in New York, maybe Greenwich Village, kind of vibes, kind of alternative. But Greenwich Village is kind of spread out, and Huagos is just this narrow street, so there's not a lot of space for big clubs. But you can find clubs to go in there: comedy clubs, rock clubs, a lot of whorehouses too. You keep coming back.
Well, they actually no, not many of those anymore. But what they do have is a lot of open bar club, not just on but on the sides. And yeah, you pay rent free. It's all you can drink. It depends on your taste in music. Some of them are very gay oriented. A lot of them play Brazilian funk, which is not my favorite type of music. It's like hip hop, but it's
Peter prefers the gay clubs. You prefer the gay clubs.
Actually, there's a place I really like on Augusta called Outs, because it's actually Outs. Yeah, it's 2 floors, 3 floors. They have a tattoo parlor, and then they have a pub downstairs, which is just like a regular Western pub. And then they have the nightclub, which is only open Fridays and Saturdays and holidays, I think. And downstairs, they play rock music. Unfortunately, the playlist is a bit repetitive. Before the pandemic, they used to have rotating DJs who all had their own thing going. But yeah, they play rock like metal, like Metallica, Guns N' Roses, but also some more light '90s rock. And then on the second floor, they do dance music. So whatever you prefer, you can be on the ground floor rocking out, or you can dance to the dance music on the second floor. I think it's like $100, maybe 90 for all you can drink. Caparenas, Catuaba, beer, whatever floats your fancy.
Pete in the Catuaba, man. No, Pete, never have Catuaba, guys. Don't go down Pete's dark road of Catuaba because that stuff will kill you. Oh man.
Yeah,
But
I
I,
usually
I,
don't drink it at bars. I drink it when I go out on the street because when it gets warm,
yeah.
it's still drinkable, which you can't say about beer. And a cold
Oh
beer
my
can get
god.
warm really fast here. But speaking
Yes.
of some of the gay clubs, they're on that road. What is it? Peshito Gomiri. I always
Whoa,
pronounce
whoa,
it.
wait, pause. Yeah, pause before you get to that to this because I'm happy you brought it up because Eduardo just told me when are they gonna change the name? Sofia Gomici.
Ah,
Agora
okay.
vai mudar. É Sofia. Anyway, I may have her name wrong, but guys, there's this whole story like that this guy Peixoto Gomidi. Apparently, he was this real asshole, like that beyond asshole because he murdered his own daughter. And just because he was a baron and stuff, so he got his name there. But the stories have been brought back up, and so they're gonna change the name of the street. They're gonna name it after his. It was his daughter, yeah. It
No.
was his daughter that, and then they're gonna change the name of the street now. So that's gonna be Sofia Gomigi Street, and
Okay.
it's a very famous block in São Paulo. It connects Rua Augusta, which is the city we're talking, the street we're talking about now with all the clubs. And there's Out Club there on the screen, by the way. And another very famous street, which is Frei Caneca Street, which is more residential. There's a few bars, but it's the gay street. A little bit more posh gay than downtown gay, but still one of the famous gay streets. And it's like the intersection of those two streets is Peixoto Miji, and there's a lot of cool clubs there. So go ahead, Pete.
Yeah, the thing about these bars, they're also open bar. They're a lot cheaper. The quality of the drinks is lower. I mean, the reason why I, as a straight person, have actually been there is first of all because during the pandemic, they were one of the few of those types of bars that were actually open because you can't see anything from the outside, all the activities going on inside. But what I like about these areas is that these bars is that they have rooftop patios, and the music is terrible. I can't stand the music at those places. I'm obviously not there looking to hook up with a guy, but the rooftop area is very chill. They have barbecue up there. Great place to spend New Year's. They often have New Year's Eve parties there. Even in 2020, they had New Year's parties there. And yeah, it's a great place where you can just go up, chill on the roof, eat some barbecue, open bar. It's like literally half the price of the Augusta clubs. It's like 50 reais for open bar, except on New Year's. And yeah, just enjoy the view, maybe meet some people and have a good time. So yeah, that's my recommendation for
Is
that.
this the one? It's called Bar Verde.
That's one of them. There's
It's
about
called Bar Verde.
yeah, that's one of them. That's one of them. There's four of them.
Yeah, but I know the ones you're talking about. Yeah, so Bar Verde. So, so like bares, a Peixoto Gomide,
Yeah.
and Pete. And the thing is, at least these bars that Pete is talking about, they're like, as I was reminded, LGBT. whatever, friendly, So it is a gay place, but at the same time, well, there's a better picture. Look at the headline: drogas em rua. Leitor reclama de like. Look, people says here that reader complains of crowding and use of drugs on a street in Jardim Paulista. I wonder what street that is. Yeah, and this is the vibe down there. So you see, it's not all gay. It's kind of just open, and everybody kind of shows up. Oh yeah, there it is. And who 2014. That's when Phil used to hang out there because Phil's crazy. Like when it was really fucked up, I used to like it. And then everybody discovered the street, and then it became way too crowded. Look, it became like this. I can't deal with this.
Yeah, that looks like New
That's
Year's
just
Eve.
not. And that's when I started to move out. I'm not that crazy. That's too many people. I can't do that many people even when there isn't a pandemic. So yeah. So cool street to go down. So we go Rua Augusta, you gotta go to Vila Madalena, Pinheiros, and then you gotta go to Centro, guys. Centro has really changed a lot. I was actually a friend of mine. Actually, Pete, do you remember Rebecca that was on the show before? She's a doctor.
Yeah,
Do you remember her?
yeah.
Yes, she just called me out of the blue. Well, we had been communicating, and I was like, "Can you talk?" I was kind of like, "What?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, you called me, so let's talk." And we had a long conversation, and we were talking about how downtown São Paulo has been really revitalized by people, because they try to do all these little projects down there. It's starting to get kind of gentrified, too gentrified for my taste, but what can you do? Progress, progress. But in the midst of all that, it has kind of brought a lot of attention to downtown, and people are actually going down there, and people from the neighborhoods. I always say, where can you find the black folks? Where can you find like the middle class, the artists, the this? It's in the Bairros. It's kind of where Pete and I live. It's in the neighborhoods, not downtown. Downtown is business, y'all. Sao Paulo is the business capital of pretty much South America, not even just Brazil. It's the engine that runs this whole region. So when you go downtown, you're gonna have people with a lot of money. People with a lot of money, they're just gonna be those types of people, if you know what I mean. And where the actual salt of the earth, where you're gonna meet folks, is in the neighborhoods, except for downtown. Downtown has now become this place where all these groups are kind of meeting. So before downtown used to just be black, and then you had the Jamaicans. Oh, I'm off. And then you had the Jamaicans or something, and that was it. Like you had a couple of reggae parties, and that's it. And a lot of drug dealers and prostitution and crime, and it was wild. That's when Phil used to hang out in downtown São Paulo. It was fun, but it was crazy. But then it just got it just got drained. The crack epidemic down here really destroyed downtown, and it just became like Thriller. And just to go out yourself, like back in 2010, 2012, I don't know when you came here, but it was just wild. But it was fun. People were out exploring in downtown, and then I think things got way too decadent, and then we had kind of a more kind of center right guy come into office who kind of tried to revitalize São Paulo downtown. And some of it I agree with because those buildings were falling apart. So part of it, I'm like, yes, thank you, clean up this city. But that's added to the gentrification, but it's balanced out with all these groups. So if you go downtown, it's actually safe, which is also something that I haven't said in a long time because there's police everywhere. It's different. I like it, but I don't like it because it misses like that wild flavor of before. But at least I can walk around downtown, which I couldn't say much. Did I mute you by mistake, Pete? I'm sorry. Can't unmute your guest. I don't know what happened here. But anyway, guys, those are the places that I would hit if I were coming down here. And I
Well,
think that's. Oh, there you
like
are. Thank you.
yeah, let's add some live music venues if that's your thing. If you're here, you want to check out some local music.
Do it.
I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna skip the bigger ones because they mostly showcase like Brazil's biggest name acts and a lot of foreign bands. Um, I can mention a few. Club Karaoke in Pinheiros is a good one. Um, there's Audio Club in Barafunda. But again, like these places, I mean, these are places where like Iggy Pop and Burning Spear play. So if you want to see some smaller local acts, a couple places I can recommend. There's Jai Club in Villa Mariana. It's on Rua Verguero. There is a metro station right there. They have a good local punk scene. They also sometimes have DJ parties, and they also have a folk and hip hop scene if that's your thing. So that's a nice place to go. They sometimes have foreign acts as well. I saw Raven there. I saw Super Suckers there. Not a big place. Probably only holds about 150 to 200 people. But it's a place that draws regulars. And another place I quite like is in Pinheiros. It's called, I forget the full name. We just call it Iglesia. I think it's called Iglesia Borexteria. It's owned by the guitarist from Hatos de Porro. And it's a converted church that has one of the best sound systems in Brazil because it's a converted church. It's also quite small. But again, it's a place where you're going to see like a lot of smaller local bands. And there's another place in Pinheiros on Avenida Sampaio called Red Star Studios. And it's actually a jam space for musicians that has a room where they put on shows on weekends. And a lot of different styles there. You see like surf rock, psychobilly, um, metal, rock national, you name it. Because you have to be careful when you're going for live music in Brazil because a lot of people love the cover bands. So you could find yourself checking out live music venues and going, man, everything's covered. But you know, these are places where you can go and see like original uh, live music, Brazilian bands, local bands, not pay much of a cover, often 30, 40 AIs. Drinks not too expensive in most cases, except for Jai Club. Jai Club, it's cheap to get in, but it's expensive to drink. But those are some of the places I would recommend to go to see live music. Of course, there are other bigger venues, but again, those are largely for foreign bands and some of the more famous acts in the country.
I like that as the Butantan one, Tropical Butantan. Remember where
Yeah,
we
it's
got
not
to see?
around anymore. Yeah,
Oh, it closed down. Ooh, that's
yeah, I think it
sad.
was a victim of the pandemic. That was a good
Oh
place
no,
too. Yeah, it
I
was
didn't like
a
it there.
fairly big venue, but
Mhm.
again, they largely showcased, some of the bigger bands in the country.
Yeah, that's where I saw Living Color there. It was a great show. I forgot who I went
Yeah,
with. I think it was with Tim. Yeah, I think I went with my buddy Tim.
yeah, I've seen
Anyway,
Metallica
no,
there and
that
Alyssa.
that's a great shout out for independent music, guys, and that's shout out to us. Me, Jordan, my buddy Brandon, we get some of these acts too into like cultural houses, especially Clube do Bem. So I love seeing these small acts. And another place where you can see smaller acts is Sesky, Sesc. Seskis are great, guys. I think that's one of the first places in Sao Paulo I saw live music. It was this girl named Rita. Oh, is it Rita Moreno? I forgot, but she did this music. It's from
Rita
Recife.
Moreno's the chick from the Electric Symphony.
Yes, that's not her name. It's Rita something, but she does maracatu music, which is like if you're listening to the first time, you're gonna think it's samba, but it's really not. It's got a different rhythm to it, and it was very. beautiful because that's the area where I'm from. So I've heard a lot of maracatu growing up my whole life because my mother's from Recife. So even in the U.S., I think I listened to more maracatu than samba. Samba was something new for me. And then that was like the first thing I saw here. I was like, oh, and she was really good. And a lot of these shows are either free or like super cheap, like 10 reais, which is going to be what, $2. So it's like going to a show at like, the local community, like nice community center, and you're gonna get some nice artists, but like one of those that can seat 100 people, 200 people, not like local library stuff. So a lot of good tips, Pete. A lot of good places to go. Uh, and I mean they do have international acts that come down here, like Pete said. So you can go to Morumbi Stadium and you can go to Allianz Park. Some people just come down to Brazil too to see a big show. Or like, remember Pete, when everybody was coming down to see the Philadelphia Eagles, so they were all going to the Corinthians Stadium. So, guys, the stadiums here are world
Oh
class.
yeah,
They're
the
recognized.
hotel industry
Very.
here thrives on
Hmm.
international concerts.
Hmm. So they got the infrastructure for it. So, shout out to Daniel. I work with this guy named Daniel, and he just went to India. He lived out my dream. He went down to India. I think he went to see Dream Theater down there. And some people like to do that. They literally follow their bands around the world. And yeah, coming to Brazil to see your favorite band, not a bad option. Like I had to work that day. Oh, my life sucks. The Madonna concert, even Lady Gaga last year. Like, man, yes, I would have been there if I could have been there because it's such an energy when you're like around that many people focused on one thing and just having a good time. Uh, and so coming to Brazil to travel to come to see an event, definitely worth it. Like the Eagles game down here in Corinthians Stadium, it was like being back home, like at a baseball game. It's like that energy was so warm. Well, I mean, sports in general, they all, when you're in the stadium, it's just something happens that's electrifying. So that was really nice, and it's worth it. São Paulo has the infrastructure to receive international visitors, Pete. I think it's one of the reasons why it's actually like ranked higher than Rio as far as the amount of tourists that come down to Brazil. It's just that most of them are business tourism more than leisure, but the city is built for this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you move, but the thing is, if you move past that region that's built for that, it's a little shakier the infrastructure, but still good infrastructure, and you can see a lot of stuff around São Paulo. So, guys, I'm gonna take Anthony's cue here and say boa noite. Okay, if you all have any questions about São Paulo, leave it in the comments. Is it a tough city to manage at the start, especially if you're thinking about living here? Yes, it is. But you really got to adventure out. You got to go out. You got to explore. You got to just kind of trust your instincts with the city, and it'll give back. There's a lot of fun things to do here. Any final words, Pete?
No, that about covers it all. I would say just that my brother came here to visit years ago. He wasn't impressed with the city, and if you're coming here as a tourist, I can see that because for all the things we've covered, like there's not a lot of great tourist attractions, but these are things to do more for people who live here or for people who are here just for a few days. So, yeah, if you're looking for like the rainforests and the beaches, we obviously don't have that. But if you're living here, I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches in terms of things to do.
That's a great way to put it. So, yeah, you'll feel real Brazilian in Sao Paulo. So, guys, thank you for listening to the show. There you go. Can have my little outro music. And I think next week we're gonna have a guest on, Pete. We're gonna be talking some Brazilian music. Okay, we're gonna be talking essential Brazilian musicians, artists, singers you gotta know if you want to get into the culture, want to know what Brazilians are about. So that's next week on the Brazil Expat Journal. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. Has liked and subscribes. I see all 200 of you in the last month. That's cool, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. Until next time.